think I'm happy with that. Custom railroad build, part 3. What's going on? Atiba here, and this is a video on my new frame. So what is this frame? So this is my new road frame. So it is a Rachalski custom geometry frame. If you don't know who Rachalski is, he is a frame builder based in Poland. He's made frames for likes of the Polish Trek team and now me. So I decided to go for a custom frame because I wanted little specific parts that would make the bike perfect. So one example is 4 mudguard mounts on a race aggressive geometry. It is used in Columbus Zona steel tubing, so in the hierarchy it is at the bottom, but when you do go up in terms of Max, SLX, XCR for example, the main differences will be the wall thicknesses. So if you go up a level in the Columbus hierarchy, you would have thinner tubing at the same strength, which means lighter weight overall, but this doesn't affect stuff like stiffness and other ride characteristics. Weight would only be affected, and I think it's around 100 to 200 grams for every time you go up in the hierarchy. Obviously there is a limit within the type of steel tubes, but yeah, it's around 100 grams roughly for going up each level. Didn't really think it was a big issue, so I stuck with Zona. It is oversized tubing, so it is going to be stiffer, but at the same time it's going to be heavier, which is a sacrifice I'm willing to take. Some people may not feel the same, but that was a sacrifice I was happy to take. It is a bit of a beefy frame, so it weighs around 2.2 kilos, but it's similar weight to my Genesis. I'm quite happy with that. When I had an initial design in my mind, I wanted it to be a steel road bike, obviously, with modern touches. So integrated headset, threaded bottom bracket, and internal routing. So because I decided to go for internal routing, I wanted it to be full internal routing. So internal routing through the down tube all the way to the chain stays. To accommodate this, I would need a T47 bottom bracket shell. So what is a T47 bottom bracket shell? So this is a recent standard made by Chris King. It is threaded, so it has the benefits of a BSA system, for example, as it's threaded. If you have any issues, just undo it, grease it, boom, you're done. But it also has the benefit of having a bigger shell, so it means it's going to be stiffer. You could weld bigger tubes onto it, and that my favourite benefit is that you can do full internal routing. So with a BSA bottom bracket system, you would either have to have it external, or if you do have your cables internally routed, they'd have to be internally routed only through the down tube, and then they would go under the bottom bracket, going out and going back in. In my opinion, at that point I'd rather have external cabling, but because of the T47 bottom bracket, I can have it fully internal, a little bit more aerodynamic, and it keeps the cables away from the elements. So in my opinion it is a win-win. Following on to a modern theme, I've gone for disc brakes. So I'm running flat mount disc brakes with through axles to keep it modern and current. So there's a couple of reasons why I decided to go for disc brakes. So the first thing would be consistent braking in the wet. The second thing would be no wear on the rim, and the third reason would be more tyre clearance. Because of the rim brake, you are limited to tyre clearance, but with a disc brake frame you're not so limited, apart from the frame of course. I mean, my tyre clearance isn't going to be that crazy. The maximum tyre clearance will be a 32 without mudguards and a 28 with mudguards, so it's pretty reasonable. But this is kind of like, this is a road bike, so that would kind of be in the realms of road to me, or even all-road. Fork. So I decided to go for an era fork because forks that are disc and mudguard compatible are very, very difficult to find. When designing a frame, you do have to take in mind geometries like the fork rake, which will affect your overall trail, but this is something I could talk about in another video. Little touches about the frame. Because it's internal routing, I've got some modular cable ports from Seaway. The benefits of these ports is it allows you to change anything. So for example, if you wanted to go from a mechanical shifting group set to an electronic shifting group set, you could change those ports to coincide with that. So for example, if you have a port that you don't need, you could just cover it up. And another thing to keep in with the modern theme was I decided to go for an integrated headset. looks a bit more cleaner, and you have a lot more adjustability with the headset spacer cone. Features would include stuff like bottle cage mounts, where I've just gone for 2 bottle cage mounts and a front derailleur tab. And that was my video on my new frame. If you liked the video, give me a like below. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. I'm out, but I'll be making more videos for this series. Peace.